The contents of this video is for educational purposes only. What you do with this information is at your own risk. Thank you for watching. Enjoy.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today's video we're going to be installing the community pack. So let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is open up our SD card and have it ready for file transfer. Now, I have been asked if it matters on how you have your SD card open, and I just want to let you know that it doesn't really matter how you have your card open or any method that you use, as long as it works. So it's up to you. So we have options with the DBI installer that I showed on my previous video, using FTP with Wi-Fi or MTP with the USB. You could also power off your switch, but I know a lot of people don't like doing that. And right now I'm actually rebooted back into Hecate. So I don't know if you can see it very well, but I'm in the SD card tools in Hecate. So it's not really turning off your switch, but I find it a lot faster to transfer files this way, even though it works with the DBI installer as well. That might be the better route, but I like using this route because it also reboots the switch while we're at it. So I just think it minimizes a lot of issues if possible, but it doesn't matter how you do it. So just letting y'all know these things. But with the SD card open, you also need to make sure that you have custom firmware already set up on your switch. Now, I don't think it matters if you need the latest versions of everything, but I do know that it works, because right now I am on the latest switch firmware, which is right now 16.0.0, and the latest custom firmware, Atmosphere 1.5.0. So I'll probably put it on the screen somewhere. Maybe I'll forget, but just so that way you can see what where I'm at. So if you have all those things already set up, then we can go ahead and continue. So now we can download this one zip file for today, and this is going to be called the community pack. Now, the reason why I'm calling it that is because I asked y'all for help, which turned out to be very successful in my opinion, and thanks to y'all. So just want to do that shout out that I really appreciate everybody that participated with and chose responsibly and respectfully. So thank you for that. I wish that I could have added everybody's, but like I said, the threshold right now that I have is at 202, and I believe I did have 203 and it worked, but I started seeing signs that the app was starting to lag, only on opening and closing, but as far as gameplay I didn't have any issues. But of course you can let me know, and then we'll probably have to adjust the threshold again. But everybody did their votes, so I'm very happy with the turnout, and maybe we can do the same thing with the other consoles, with the Game Boy Advance, the SNES, the Sega. If y'all guys are into that, then I don't mind making another spreadsheet, and then we can vote and have a community pack for every single one of them. The only one that we can't do is the N64, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So with this zip file, there's going to be several links in the description, so if you look down there, you should find the download the community pack here. Once you click on the link, it should take you to the page where you can start the download process, and after that you can have it dragged to the desktop like I have done already. Now with this zip file, we're going to want to unzip it and extract the files, and I highly recommend using 7-zip, and of course I'll leave a download link to 7-zip so you can follow along with me on this video here. But with 7-zip, I'm going to open the archive, and then here we will see the folder that has the community pack. So all we need to do next is highlight this folder and then extract it to the desktop or wherever you extract your files from, just to keep it organized. Okay, so we can go ahead and open up the folder, and in here you'll be able to see the files that we need for the community pack. Now, just like my previous videos, I'm going to say that everything you need is inside my packs. So what I mean by that is that anything that's relevant to what we're trying to do on this video to set you up with the Game Boy and the pack or something like that, everything you need is inside my packs. So if you look through the folders, you should know what I'm talking about. But of course, if I'm still being confusing, You can find me somewhere on my social accounts and we can talk privately and I can give you all the answers you want from there. But with that out of the way, we're going to have to do something a little bit different on this video. Because the pack is so large, I ended up doing a threshold of 200, and that leaves about 36 titles that were not put on the pack. I tried to do as much as I can, but for some reason, anything past 200, for me, I had crashing with the app. So 200 was the sweet spot. There's still some issues, but we'll talk about it as we check it out on the Switch side. But for now, here it's going to be different. Normally, I like to have everything ready for you in its directory, and you can just transfer over with a drag and drop. But since the pack is so large, we cannot copy over and replace. We actually have to delete the old pack and then extract the new pack. So let's go ahead and do that. With the SD card side of things, we're going to want to go into the atmosphere folder, and then we want to go into the contents folder. Of course, if you are starting new on this video, you might not have a contents folder. All you need to do is just right click and add a new folder and name it contents. So with the contents folder, we're going to open it up, and if you already have this folder here with this title ID, this is for the Game Boy, we're going to want to go ahead and delete it. And I was so excited to show y'all. I've been trying to make this video for a while, and every time I would transfer or do the steps of this video, I kept having failures with crashing, and I did not know why. I thought it was the threshold, but it worked for me the night before. Found out that it's because the transferring from here and replacing the files inside, it still has remnants of the old files, and it was causing it for crashes. So we're doing it this way right here. We're going to want to right click, we're going to copy, and then we're going to paste it in here. Doing it this way, I have no issues. But like I said, we still have issues on some other things, but I'll talk about it when we get back to the Switch. Okay, so once the files have transferred over or you copy them to your SD card, that's pretty much it. We are done with the transfer. Now we can exit out of this folder and we can now eject our SD card, and let's go ahead and test out the app. So I'm going to eject. I'm going to eject, and then I'll see y'all on the Switch. Okay, so before I open the app and show you what it looks like, I would like to tell you the issues that you're gonna have with this pack. Unfortunately, there are issues, but because the pack is so large, it takes a lot of the power from the app, I guess the app's emulator, to process, and it comes with issues. And I want to tell you them because they are important. So issue number one, when you enter the app, it's gonna have a long boot time. So they're not really big issues. It's just that some might think that it's frozen, and I just let you know that maybe about 6, 8, or 15 seconds it's gonna boot. And after it boots, all the titles run fine. I haven't had any issues so far, and things like that. The next issue is that when you close the app, it has the same thing. Once you close the app, it's going to be about 10 to 15 seconds. So see, it's not really a big deal, but just want to let you know of these known issues. The third one is going to be the most important issue, because I'm going to assume because the pack is so large, again, that it takes so much power. For some strange reason, when I try to play any of the titles, it crashes. So I'm going to go ahead and show you here. While you're in dock mode, it's going to crash. But that doesn't mean it's not going to work, because I've been wrapping my head around this issue and I couldn't figure it out why it would work for me, and then I would record for y'all and then it wouldn't work. And then I had to go back in. I was taking off titles. I was trying to put them on because they worked. It didn't work. But I'm going to show you that on dock mode, I'm going to try it and it's going to crash. I don't know what the reason is, but it still does work on dock mode. What we're going to have to do is, once we crash, we're going to have to go onto handheld mode, open the app, and start a game. after you start the game, you can put it back in the dock mode and it will work just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. So here, now we have been kicked. We can go ahead and remove the switch out of dock mode. Let's see if I can put it in there for you. Okay, now that we're inside the handheld mode, I can just go ahead and open the title and it plays. But that's good news, right? So after this is open, we can now go back onto dock mode if you want to use dock mode. And it should work just fine. So now I'm going to open it here and let my monitor turn on, and there you go. So now I'm playing on dock mode. You can see it right here on my monitor right here. And everything works fine, even with me getting out. I'm going to go back to the game selection, and from here on out, I should be able to enter any of the titles like normal. So let's try another one. So there you go. These are the 3 issues. It's going to have a long boot time, a long exit time, and the most important, it doesn't run on dock mode. You have to start the game on handheld, and then you have to go back to dock mode. But everything should be the same way. Everything has been working fine for me in this instance. And now we can go ahead and scroll through the titles. So I added this Pokemon. It does say Game Boy, but it is the modded version that has color. So I removed the old one that doesn't have color and I put this one. Same thing goes with this Super Mario Land. It does say Game Boy. However, I added the ROM hack that says Game Boy Advance. I mean, Game Boy DX. I'm sorry. And once you poke it, it does show color now. But I can't play any of these titles because I get in trouble when I play them. But there we go, guys. It is 200 titles. That's the threshold so far. I did try after all the trials and errors when I found out that you have to delete the folder and then put the new folder. I thought that if that works, then maybe I can add all 236 titles that everybody had voted for. And I tried that, it still didn't work. It didn't even work on handheld. So I know that the threshold is still not the same. And unfortunately, I couldn't add everybody's votes. So there's going to be about 36 titles that I did not add, and I'm hoping that everybody's going to be okay with this pack. And of course, I'm going to be showing how to add the titles yourself. So after this video, I will be making another video about how you can add titles and delete titles as you go, so you can have space for more and the type of titles that you want. So that's pretty much it, guys. Everything seems to be working just fine on my end. I do have audio, but I don't know what I can and cannot play. I guess let me try an X-Men one and have audio for it as we end our video. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'll leave instructions somewhere else because sometimes people don't really go through the whole video, and those of y'all that do, I know I make long videos, but they're as informal as possible so that way we can have less issues and you'll spend a lot less time trying to find help. But there you go, there are sounds. I can try something else. So far everything's worked fine and I haven't had any issues. This is regular Game Boy. I think I've only showed a lot of Game Boy Color, but here's the regular Game Boy title. And there you go. That's gonna be pretty much it, guys. If you have any issues, everything's working for me fine except for those issues, right? But of course, I hope it works for you as well. And if it doesn't work for you, you can let me know in the comments and I'll try and help you out as best I can. I was really excited to find that we can add 200 titles instead of the original 120 that I was telling y'all to add. But I felt so bad that everybody voted. There were so many title options to vote for, and I still feel bad that I didn't get to add them all. But we have 200 now, guys, and then I will give y'all the rest of the information on how you can add them and delete them as you go. But that's pretty much it. Everything seems to be working on my end, and I hope it works for you. So let me know how it goes, and yeah, so thanks for watching, everybody. I really appreciate the support. And as always, I'll see you on the next one.